Hello and welcome to my science fair PowerPoint presentation. My project is about mushrooms and my scientific question is, does more water make mushrooms grow faster? The purpose of this experiment is to find out what amount of water makes mushrooms grow larger or faster. If more water is added to the mushroom, then the mushroom will grow faster. My materials is 4 mushroom kits to grow the mushrooms, water to grow the mushrooms, a ruler to measure the mushrooms, and a teaspoon to feed the mushrooms the proper amount of water. Mushrooms need specific conditions in order to grow. This is important to people who farm mushrooms. This experiment will show what amounts of water make mushrooms grow faster and larger. Step 1. Gather materials. Step 2. Cut an X in each mushroom kit and pull up the flaps and use like a fork to scrape some of the mycelium away. Do not cut off the flaps. Step 3. Leave all the mushroom kits in a bowl of water overnight with the X face down, and water each and then take them all out of the water and water each mushroom their designated amount of water. Mushroom 0 will not be watered after being taken out of the bowl. Mushroom 2 will be watered 2 teaspoons a day. Mushroom 4 will be watered 4 teaspoons a day. And mushroom 6 will be watered 6 teaspoons a day. Day 1, no growth. Day 3, mushroom 2 begins to grow. 0, 4, and 6 are not growing at all. Day 5, mushroom 0 begins growing. Mushroom 2 is almost an inch tall, and mushroom 4 and 6 are still not growing. And that was when, on day 8, mushroom 0 and 2 coming very nice along, but I noticed mushrooms 4 and 6 were not growing at all. And I came to the conclusion that they were not growing because they were being overwatered and they were basically drowning. They were getting too much water. So it was on this day, day 8, that I decided to stop watering all of the mushrooms to see if the other mushrooms would grow. 4 and 6 would be allowed to grow or something. So day 9, mushroom 0 and 2 continue to grow, but mushroom 4, the day I don't water it, mushroom 4 begins to grow, and mushroom 6 still is not growing. And then we skip to day 15. Mushroom 0 and 2 have already peaked in growth. They don't grow anymore. At this day, on day 15, mushroom 0 is 2.6 inches tall, and mushroom 2 is 2.8 inches tall. That is their peak. After that, they do not grow any taller. But mushroom 4 is growing like extremely quickly. Like it's actually seems like it's growing faster than mushroom 0 and 2. And it was day 18 that mushroom 6, it's hard to see it, but on day 18 mushroom 6 began to grow. You might not be able to see it in there, but it began to grow. You can kind of see the flap going up. And mushroom 0 and 2 begin to shrivel, begin to just die out because they did not get as much water as the other ones, especially 0. It got no water. And then day 23, mushroom 4 peaked this day. After this day, it just went down. or it stayed the same. And mushroom 6 is growing normally. Day 26. Mushroom 6 has peaked in growth. And mushroom 0, 4, and 2 are all shriveling due to lack of water. And it was day 29. All mushrooms are shriveling, dying. Here is the mushroom growth data. As you can see, mushroom 2, which 2 teaspoons is the recommended amount of water for these types of mushrooms. So mushroom 2, on day 2, it began to go up. And even after it stopped getting watered, it still continued to grow because it got a good amount of water. Mushroom 0, it took a little longer to grow. It started to grow on day 4, but it still grew because it got a good amount of water from being left in the water overnight. So it seemed that was enough for it to grow. And yeah. And it was day 8 that it stopped getting watered, and then I think it was day 9 is when it began to grow. So immediately after it stopped getting watered, mushroom 4 began to sprout, or not sprout, pin. These are not plants. And it grew, and it hit its peak just around here. And then mushroom 6, it was getting watered. It got watered 6 times 8. It got watered a lot. And it got too much water during these 8 days. And during these 8 days, all the water that was there, I guess some of it either dried out. Yeah. It took 9 days for that water to dry out to a point where it could finally grow. And day 17, it began to grow. And it grew pretty fast. Compared to the other ones, it grew pretty quickly. I don't know if that's true. Yeah, well, it grew. Seemed to grow a lot steeper going up. But it also did not grow as large. So mushroom 2 grew the largest. Mushroom 0 grew second largest. And mushroom 4 grew the third largest. And mushroom 6 grew the fourth largest. My hypothesis was not correct, because I said that the mushroom that got given the most amount of water would grow the largest, and it did not. In fact, it grew the smallest. So, with my data, mushroom 4 and 6 were watered too much and could not grow until watering ceased. Mushroom 0 did not grow as quickly as mushroom 2, but it still grew. Even without getting watered every day, it still grew. And mushroom 2 grew the largest and grew consistently, very, very quickly. Hypothesis not correct. Watering mushrooms too much can halt their growth, and not enough water causes them to grow slowly and not as large.